This is the fourth part of our lesson on finding angles with sine and cosine law, and we are on our second example of how to use sine law to find a missing angle. So when I am tackling this question, first thing I'm going to do is try to decide whether I want to use sine law or cosine law. To use sine law, you need to know an angle and its opposite side. And I have an 80 degrees and a 28 kilometers, which means I absolutely can use sine law for this question. So I'm going to label A, B, and C. I'm going to start with the angle that I am looking for, and I am going to choose to call that one A. And then the other two, it really doesn't matter. So maybe this is B and this is C. Across from angle A is where I would find side A. Across from angle B is where I would find side B. And across from angle C is where I will find side C. So when I look at this question, I notice I don't know anything about B. I don't know what the angle is, and I don't know what the side length is, so I am not going to use B this time. I'm going to do A and C. So since X is the thing I'm looking for, and that's my A, I'm going to start with A. I'm going to do sine A over A equals sine C over C. If you do it the other way around, it's fine. It just means the variable that you're solving for will be on the other side of the equation, and that's okay. So I'm going to substitute in what I know. So angle A is X. So I have sine X divided by A, which is 18, equals sine of angle C, which is 80, divided by C, which is 28. From here, I'm going to cross multiply. So 28 times sine X equals 18 times sine of 80 . Now, I do need to solve for X, which means I need to get X by itself. We currently have sine of X, and we're multiplying by 28. So the first thing that I would do to try to get that X alone is divide by 28. You could have saved yourself a step of work if you had just multiplied by 18 and left the 28 right there. And then I'm going to use my calculator and figure out what that equals. So 18 times sine of 80 divided by 28, I get 0.633090698. And then to get X by itself and cancel out the sine, we do the opposite operation, which is not division. This is not sine times X. This is sine of X. Sine is its own operation. So we do the inverse sine of both sides. So on my calculator, I'm going to take the number that's still there, and I'm going to do second and then my sine button. If you have a calculator where you see what you type in on the screen, you would do second sine and then hit equals. And I get 39.27. And then the next digit is an 8, which is going to push that up to an 8. So 39.28. Now, we have had to round up on every single one of these questions. That is very unusual. Usually we leave some if they don't need to be rounded up, and we round up the ones that do. So this is an angle, so it should be in degrees. So our angle is 39.28 degrees. And that is it for our lesson today on sine law and cosine law and finding angles. It's now your turn to go and try some practice.